it's Maureen, and I'm back again for some more December fun. Thanks for tuning in, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be sharing my favorite go-to layouts for holiday planning. I'm using a journal by Notebook Therapy. I call it my Holiday Bullet Journal. Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year. To get set up for these pages, I pulled out the Christmas banner stamp set, shaded spruce, and real red ink and markers, all from Stampin' Up. I'll also be using some Tombow markers, my favorite Zig pen, and a few others. I'll link everything in the description. From this retired stamp set, I'm going to pull out the Christmas stocking and add it to one of my pages. The Christmas Banners stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, so I'll be using my acrylic blocks. These blocks are sold separately from the stamp sets. Here I am taking out the banner, some berries, and holly, and a twig, and we'll see if I get to use all of those. I'll be using acrylic blocks A, B, C, E, and I. First, I'll get started with the banner. I'm stamping it in the shaded spruce ink, stamping it at the very top of my page. This page, I have decided to add a Christmas tree to the left side, so I am also using the Decorated with Happiness stamp set from Stampin' Up. I'm going to stamp some evergreen boughs over here to create a Christmas tree. That will be off to the side of the page. I'm going to do some masking so that I can extend it to the bottom without stamping over top of other images. Once I stamp using the bigger bough, I am now going to get the smaller pine branches to fill it in to make it look more like a Christmas tree. You can see me trying to go up higher and higher to make it sort of stick out like a Christmas tree. Next, I'll do some shading. With the shading, I am still using the shaded spruce ink, but I'm stamping off and then stamping on. That's a great way to use one color of ink and get two different shades. So I'm going to do that with the bigger shading block. Again, I'm going to use some masking for the bottom section. And then I'm going to do some shading for those smaller pine branches. For this page, I am going to create 4 sections. Each year, I create layouts that help me with my Christmas planning so that I can stay organized, so that I can remember to buy all the things that I need to get. I often host Christmas dinner at my house, so I have to make sure I have everything just right before all of our extended family arrives to celebrate together. So I'm creating 4 sections. One section is going to be for a to-do section. Then I'm going to have an area for shopping so that I can make sure that I'm getting all the needed food items. And then the last section is going to be for meals. And the meals is really for the family. So that's going to be what we have before everyone comes over. So what we'll have for breakfast, and then just other fun stuff. So that's not really the big family meal on that section. At the bottom, I'm just writing the word other because I'm not sure what I'm going to add there, but I know it's going to get filled in. So I'm using my favorite Zig pen to trace around these boxes here. And once I trace around them, I am going to get my Tombow marker and I am going to do some shading. I always like to shade my boxes because that helps them to pop out. This Notebook Therapy bullet journal has white pages. Usually I use a Lustrum one, and that one has more yellow pages, but this one has white, so it's a little bit brighter, which I do like it. At the top, I'm going to write Christmas 2022 as my heading, and then I'm going to write planning. So this will be my Christmas planning page. And as I said before, this is something that I've been doing for years just to help keep myself organized and get ready for my planning for the year. Well, for Christmas, so that I can be all ready. Next, I'm going to add some holly leaves, and then I'm going to add some berries. I didn't find a stamp image that had small berries, so I just decided to pick up my real red marker and draw them in myself. After drawing them, I thought that they looked a little interesting, like some were bigger than others, so I grabbed my Zig marker and traced around them. It's a great way to fix your mistakes, is to just trace around it, and it makes it look better. So my last bullet journal design that I created for December, I used these ornaments, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it again. So I pulled out the pine dies and I stamped some ornaments on my basic white paper, and then I did some shading by stamping off the image first and then stamping on. And I'm going to pull out my mini Stampin' Emboss machine, or cut and emboss machine, and I am going to cut out these ornaments to get ready for my page. So I'm doing 2 at a time. I'm going to just roll that right through. And then I have 2 that are ready to go right there. I'm going to set them down and then roll through my 3rd one. So now I have 3 ornaments that I can add to my page, and it looks a lot like my December layout. I'll link that in the description below as well so that you can find it. Now, I didn't want to pull out some yellow paper, so I took my crushed curry ink and I just did a little scribble on some basic white cardstock, and then I punched out, or I die cut out, a star to add to my Christmas tree. Now, to add them to the Christmas tree, I am going to use my Stampin' Seal adhesive. And with the Stampin' Seal adhesive, I can then adhere it to my page. So I'm making it really look like a Christmas tree now. I have my star at the top, and I'm going to add the ornaments once I get the Stampin' Seal adhesive on there. So I am adding them to the left. And this page looks a lot like my December page. The only difference is I'm using a different green. If you don't have these dies and you don't have these stamp sets, you can easily draw them. The Christmas tree would be very easy to draw, just making lots of scribbles going up and down, and then you can draw some ornaments and add them to the side of the page. So you don't have to have the stamp set. The stamp set does make it easier, but it is still possible to do it without the stamp set. So now I'm adding in some diamonds and some little dots. I like to make a diamond and then 3 dots on the side. So this next layout I actually got from Amanda Rach Lee. She has her own YouTube channel, and about 4 years ago she created this design, and so I copied it, I love it, and I use it every year. So what I'm doing is I am creating presents at the bottom of the page. I will create one for each person in our family, the people that live in my house. And inside these boxes, these gift boxes, I will be writing down what the presents are. This makes it so much easier for me because it helps me to make sure I get enough presents for everyone, that I get about the same amount of presents for everyone. And then when it's time to wrap them, I can remember who is getting what. So what I do is I start off by thinking of ideas, and I write the ideas in each box or in each Christmas gift in pencil. And then when I actually purchase it, I then write it in the marker so that it stays there. This is my own personal book. No one is looking in there but me. For each of the presents, I'm adding a tag. And on the tags, I will write names. Now, there are really 6 people in our family, but 4 people fit, 4 Christmas boxes or Christmas gifts fit on each page. So on this page, I am going to draw 4, and then on the next page at the bottom, I will add the last 2. So I'm using my Real Red ink marker here to color in the bow for the first present. I will also be using crushed curry to color in the second one. And then for the third one, I will be using the spruce green marker, which now I am forgetting the name of it. And then back to Real Red. Shaded Spruce is the name of that. So I used Real Red, Shaded Spruce, and crushed curry. And you can see that now I'm writing the names for each of my children in the box on the tags. and then I can add their gifts there as I purchase them. And I can also put ideas there in pencil. I'm adding shading, and now I'm pulling out that Christmas stocking. I'm going to stamp a stocking for each person in my family. This is something that my mother did for us when we were little, and I carried it on. I'm carrying on the tradition with my family. So we have one stocking for each person hanging, which I know a lot of people do that. But we put gifts in our stockings, and I don't think every family does that. So what I am doing is I'm creating a stocking for each family member. And then under the stocking, I am going to list the items that I'm going to put in there. So as I purchase the items, I will write them down. And again, this makes it easier for me come Christmas Eve when I go to put all the items in the stockings. And I can list down what I wrote, what I bought for each person. So now I'm trying to find the perfect brown to create a mantle. So I'm going through my Tombow markers, figuring out which one is the best brown to use to create that mantle. And then I found one. So this is the one that I chose. And the cool thing about this marker, or using Tombow markers, is that even though I'm going back over it as I color it in, it is making lines. And when it makes lines, it looks like wood grain. So it is perfect to do that and not make it so perfect, because with it being imperfect, it looks like wood. So I'm going to create the mantle. And once I get that mantle complete, I'm going to put more lines in there just to make it really look like wood. So I'm going to make it look like there's some grains in the wood and keep it going. And I'm almost finished here. And this page just came together so quickly. You can see there it goes. And I am going to add some more lines at the top. And it looks like wood. There we go, all set. Now all I need to do is add a heading to the top of this page after I write the names on the stockings. So I am writing Dad, that's my husband, and I wrote Mom, that's me, and then I wrote all the children's names. At the top for the heading, I am writing, and the stockings were hung by the chimney with care. And that will be it for this page. This is one of my favorite pages. And like I said, I did get this idea from Amanda Rach Lee. And once I saw it, I knew it was something that I needed to use. And it does help me. It has made my planning so much easier. And it has made filling the stockings even easier, because now I know who gets what as I continue to purchase items for the stockings. And my children will now begin to add to these stockings as well. So now that they're older, they can buy things for each other and add them to the stockings. And that's an extra special treat that we get Christmas morning. So after opening all the other presents, the last big treat or big surprise is to then get our stockings down and see what's inside. And the children love that. The first question after opening all the presents is, can we open our stockings now or empty our stockings now? And we do, and it's always fun. So now on this page, I am adding the last two gifts for Mom and Dad, which is me and my husband. And let me tell you about what's happening at the top of the page. So the top of the page is going to be an online tracker. So I'm going to continue working on the gifts at the bottom, but I'll tell you about the top part. So the online tracker is very helpful, so that when I am purchasing gifts online for other family members, whether it's my children or my nieces and nephews, my sister, brother, my mother, etc., I can write inside the tracker what the gift was, the date that I made the order, how much it costs, where I bought it from, so the retailer, the store, whatever you want to call it. And then I also mark off when it arrived. So the order number, and then when it was delivered. And that helps me keep track of the things that I ordered and also when they come in. Because if I don't do that, I will forget who I purchased things for, and I will forget what to look for. And it just helps me to know that things that I purchased have arrived, and also that I got the items that I intended to get. So I just added the shading, the drop shadow for each of the gifts. And then at the top, I am going to take my black jelly roll pen and I'm going to write in those things that I said before. I'm going to write gift, date, I'm going to write a $, then retailer, the order number, and then delivered, so that I know the items were delivered. I'm going to take a Tombow marker and just trace every other line. Again, that just helps it to look more organized, and it helps me to stay in the spaces when I am writing it out. At the top, I'm giving it a heading, and this is the online tracker. I talked before about how I like to change my fonts. So I am writing one with bigger lettering, and then I'm writing tracker with smaller lettering. Just makes it look more interesting. I'm using the Yeti to Party stamp set just to pull out a couple of stamps. So I'm going to use the tree and then also some gifts, and I'm stamping them in the Memento ink. And so I'm stamping the Christmas tree on the left, and then I have one gift on the left as well. And then I am just coloring those in. On the right side, this is probably my favorite page because it helps me, again, to remember who I purchased for, who I need to purchase for, and also did I wrap it, and all of those other things. So this is my gift tracker. Again, this is from Amanda Rach Lee. So she's got great ideas, and I took them and I borrowed them, or I'm holding on to them, and I am using them because they are super, super helpful. So this is the gift tracker. I'm writing gift out in my bigger hand lettering style, and then I'm going to write tracker in a smaller font. So what I'm going to do here is add some presents to the page, and then I am going to write some headings at the top in the boxes. I am going to draw my lines so that I can make sure when I am writing my ideas in there that I am staying in the lines. But I am going to label it as name at the top so I know who I'm purchasing for. Gift. So once I buy the gift, I can write it down, or this could also be for ideas. So if I have an idea for something, I can write it there in pencil, and then once I purchase it, I would put it in marker. I can also check if I bought it, and then, or when I bought it, and then I will check it for when I wrapped it. And that also helps me stay on track with what I need to do. I'm adding some diamonds here with my 3 dots. And just, there we go. It just makes it look more interesting. I'm going to color in my presents using my crushed curry and my real red. I'm going to give it a drop shadow. And then I'm going to get ready for my final flip through of all of the pages for my holiday planning. Thanks so much for joining me. I'd love it if you'd share this video with a friend. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and check me out next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye. See you later.